Good morning, I'm Forrest Allred with Reynolda Gardens. This morning I'm going to discuss pruning roses. This is the time of the year where we do it heading into spring. Typically you would do this in Winston-Salem around March.
So Forrest is just going to show some tools, some basic tools that you want to use if you're going to be pruning your roses. And then he's going to demonstrate on, what is this, a floribunda for us?
Yes, this is floribunda.
And then he's going to demonstrate the proper way to go about pruning it. So just handheld pruners are one of the basic things you need?
Yes, what you want to do is you want to use what's called a bypass pruner. There are what's called anvil, but bypass will give you the cleanest cut when it comes to roses. You'll want a good saw, fairly narrow at the tip because you're going to be cutting out dead wood if need to, especially on some larger stems. This right here is just a tool for weeding. I just keep it with me in general. Gloves. When it comes to gloves, you can buy short leather gloves, which are fine, but they recommend if you're going to be doing a lot of pruning, you can buy these leather welding gloves that come higher up on your arm, and they prevent any thorns from snagging your arms when you're pruning, especially if you're in short sleeves when it can be 70 degrees. But we're going to talk about yes.
Yeah, so you explained it to me that you want to look for certain things first, that being dead wood and crossing branches, right?
Yes, what I do is I come up, and this is true of most roses when it comes to floribundas, hybrid teas, and grandifloras. There are exceptions, but we're going to talk about those three and the standard rules for following those. So what you want to do is I tell people you want to open up a rose very similar to what you would see if you were to open up a baseball glove. So when you're done, you want to have about 5, no less than 3, preferably no more than 8 healthy canes. So you go in first and you take out, as you said, the dead canes. So in this case, I have a dead cane here. I have one in here and have one here. So I'm going to come in here, remove the dead canes. Again, you can see I'm starting to open up the growth like a glove. Now, once I remove the dead canes, then I want to remove what's called canes that cross over or compete or could rub in growth later on. So like I see this cane here growing up into this one, and it would, what we would call a crossover. It's going to grow into this habit. So I'm going to come in here and take this out. And some of them actually cross over more and will rub, so you want to remove any of that. Then what you want to do is you want to come in here and remove anything that's smaller than, say, like a pencil, because they're not strong enough to hold a large flower. And again, I'm opening this up, so I'm removing all this growth that is really tiny in here.
And you can already see how you're getting that glove,
yes,
that baseball glove look, just from opening up the middle.
It's another piece of dead wood. I'm going to take this out to open up. Okay, now we want to take the canes down, and when you're done, you want canes that are about 15 to 18 inches in height, and you want to cut where you have an outward developing bud. And sometimes you can see the buds. It would be like very similar to this. Sometimes you won't see that growth. It could be where the leaf is falling off, there's a little scar or a ring. You want to look for that outward ring or that outward growth and cut just above that. So I'm going to pick this stem here, and I'm looking. I don't actually see a bud, but I can see some old scarring here. So I'm going to cut this out of the way. I'm going to cut this off. So I'm bringing down, there's another pencil growth I'm going to take off. Take this off. Okay, and you see I've got that 15 to 18 inches, and my outward break is going to be right here.
Perfect.
In this case, I'm going over here, take that out.
And so for people watching at home that aren't used to pruning roses themselves, it might be a little intimidating, and they think they're going to cut too much. But you shouldn't be afraid to cut some of those big stems too, if need be, right? If there's some decay on them.
No, if there's decay, and even in this case, there's no decay, but I'm bringing down the height, that's not a problem at all.
Okay.
roses will recover really easy. Again, bringing it down, develop a new cane, develop flowers. This will hold that weight, so no problem cutting that.
And right now you're just looking for that outward
Develop that growth that's going to develop going outward. I've got to. Sometimes you just have to lay down and look. Okay, and there you go.
So that one's done.
That one's done.
Nice.